Welcome to a zerok match between, in the blue, it is JohMicheal 20 as tanks versus Stuart 98 in the red with rovers. It is on Cobalt Dream, I believe it is at least. Yes, indeed, Cobalt Dream. Wait! Oh, that's just a clan icon. Never mind. Which is a very flat map. And also relatively big, well, quite a couple of maxes. So quite high eco as well. Already going for Scorcher Dart and then into more eco with Mason. Whereas on this side we've got one Karachi and then into Welder for JohMicheal. About the same, two Karachis into Welder. Over here, Karachi and Scorcher both just, well, surviving. Over here, Dart survives as well. Of course, it's a bit of a weird matchup, with Scorcher being the longer ranged raider, and both of these units really want to be chased. They don't want to chase the enemy, or at least you don't want to chase the enemy, because, well, for one, Scorcher gets more DPS up close, and oh, nice little slowdown with the Dart, making it so that, well, yeah, the Karachi just doesn't do a whole lot anymore. Scorcher gets more DPS up close, up to 300 when you're like inside of the enemy. And Karachi with its firebomb, well, it just lays down fire and you would run through that if you're chasing it, while you're not actually able to damage the Karachi. Right. Also, in this case not that important, but a Karachi does have like 5 HP per second extra regen after 5 seconds. So a damaged Scorcher is an issue, whereas a damaged Karachi that generally isn't, as long as it's able to get out of the... Of course, with darts, well, rover do have a very nice option against Karachi as well, as long as you are able to get at least one hit in, because if you slow that thing down, then your Scorcher is able to get in close, which means that it goes up in DPS, and of course the Karachi doesn't really fire back anymore, if it's, or at least at half speed only. So, over here, well, darts are chasing around, firing at the Scorcher with the Karachi. Running through the fire does hurt a little bit because they're very low HP units, those darts. And there they go, 50% slowed down. That means goodbye, because look at that DPS from the Scorcher. Couple of Scorchers, 2 Scorchers going around topside. And over here, well, one more dart is out. And there it is, once again, slowing down the Karachi, and goodbye. 130 versus 170. So yeah, you do lose a dart, which is like 40 metal. You're still ahead quite a lot. Losing only 40 metal versus, well, 170 for them. But over here, look at that, chasing a Karachi. You don't want to do that, because all of a sudden you lose 2 Scorchers. Yeah. Over here, well, another Scorcher. Well, 170, okay. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, because we're still trying to get to 1000 subscribers. And another Karachi moving forwards. Karachi moving forwards into, well, Lotus plus Scorcher, or into Commander, so really shouldn't be able to do a whole lot. Eco really similar, with Commander expansion over here with Welder, and over here with Mason and Commander. Another Mason over here is able to, well, is constructing a Caretaker right now, and should probably like clean up a little bit of eco over here, maybe, not sure. This one's just going to assist. I mean, it makes sense because you don't have your Caretaker yet. And over here, another Karachi moving forwards. Good number of Scorchers though, once again, they're chasing. So losing 1 Scorcher already, and a dart as well. Which means that it's 170, 170. Not a bad fight for either player. Still though, JohMicheal at only 80% attrition. And into the middle, Stuart goes. That means it's going to be more difficult for JohMicheal to take the units from over here to over there, if needed. Because they would have to go around the defenses from Stuart. strike, but dark grey. Alright, I would even just call that a black and red skin rather than grey, but that's just me. Right, over here, well, as I said, healing up by 5 per second. Kadachis. And, well, yeah, should be able to take down that Mason without issues, because, well, Scorchers and Darts not moving forwards. At the same time, though, seems like JohMicheal doesn't have any radar. Because how else would all of these units be able to sneak through? Well, they do have radar, so maybe it's just a clever little trap. And you know what? Maybe it is, because if you just have them chase your Kadachis over here, they'll all die. Your Kadachis from down south could also come in and help you. And after that, well, they are actually just trapped. They have to either go back, or they have to chase you. They don't want to do that. Over here, single Blitz, but Blitz going down to the DPS of the Scorcher. And Ripper is out. Ripper is quite nice against Kadachis, just by being a riot and all that. But it is an AoE riot. So against tanks, it's not amazing. 660 and for the Blitz, 1300 HP. So yeah. Not exactly going to take him down all that easily. Because the, well, single target DPS isn't as high. Over here, Kadachis are indeed trapping their little rovers. Though they are still getting a better engagement than I thought they would. So in the end, well, another Kadachi going down because the others were not actually paying attention to it. And the last, well, Scorcher is now cleaned up. Right. Still, 380 versus 340 over here. So that's way more even than I thought it would be. I was like, well, maybe you'll lose one Scorcher, but no. Over here, once again, Kadachi's just fighting darts. Alright, that's not an issue at all. And this, though, yeah, Welder. Welder does have good HP, does have a little bit of damage itself, but not enough to take down a Scorcher when it's also being fired at by a Lotus. Kadachi trying to sneak through. I mean, Ripper only now going to drive at it, but hey, it's just too slow. Lotus is going to take it. If it had gone to the base, it might have been able to do something, because there are no defenses there. So it might have been able to take down a Caretaker, maybe two, just with its Firebomb. Over here though, what's that commander doing this far forward? No real support, and that means it is dead. Taking its own Kadachis with it in the explosion, which means that, well, the entire push from JohMicheal has just been stopped. Yes, they've got a couple of Ogres on this side, and they've got a couple of Kadachis still alive, but that's about it. Almost has a fusion reactor up, which now it is, which just boosts their overdrive a little bit, but it's not really gridded, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Since none of these maxes have any energy around them. And there comes the counter. The counter, the one only singular counter to the entire tank foundry. It's Dominatrix, yeah. Outranging most of the units you'll encounter, except for like Cyclops and Emissary. And that means it's going to be a bit of an issue, because what do they have on the field? Well, Lotus gets countered by Dominatrix. Kadachi gets countered. Ogre gets countered. What do they have? Nothing. Commander for Stewart, also just turret creeping forwards a little bit. And, well, yeah, I mean, the Dominatrix are all in the back, which is a bit of a shame. But still, I mean, moving forwards now, they've already captured one metal extractor, which is very nice. And Mason's just able to expand, able to get a lot of reclaim, like 2000, without issues, and JohMicheal is already getting tilted. At that stage, you probably have the win in the bag if you're Stewart, because yeah, a tilting enemy is not generally that, well, good anymore. They start to make mistakes then. At the same time though, multiple ripples into base defenses when you have assaults close by. Also not amazing. Emissary is now out, is actually somewhat of a counter to Dominatrix. They have good AoE, and Dominatrix are not really fast enough to dodge emissary shots. So yeah, it is artillery, but it is strong enough with 600 burst to two-shot Dominatrix, and with its AoE it will still two-shot even if it hits slightly off. So here though, Ogres. Ogre, look at that range. Yeah, easily outranged by Dominatrix with 4 of them in the ball. All of a sudden that's 1 Ogre captured. Couple of Ravagers moving forward but not fighting the Lotus turret, so will probably go down. And 4 Dominatrix on their own. They're like weird units, support units I guess you can say, but hey, 1 shot emissary already damaging them. Another shot by another emissary. 1 Dominatrix gone. That's 2. That's returning the Ogre, returning the Metal Extractor. So it's looking up in the world for JohMicheal, but hey, they still give up because, yeah, as tanks it's difficult to deal with Dominatrix. Ahead in eco, yet destroyed by a single unit.